I was waiting to hear that. Running from the back of the room all the way to the front, not tripping on any cats, we have Melanie Cheong. She's working on a Pathways Project Effective Coaching, Level 5, leading your volunteer organization. A standard 5 to 7 minute presentation. It's titled Giant Leaps in Baby Shoes. Melanie took the indecisive steps of joining an advanced club committee. After 9 months, she was blown away by the kind and considered 360 feedback she received from Linda, Francine, Susan, Eve, Gloria, Marjane, Rajiv, Corinne. Today, we hear some of her journey steps up from being a minion, or did she say? What did she say? Melanie Cheong.
In June 2024, I was thoroughly convinced everyone would choose Superwoman Marjane. But the way that it worked, she persuaded everyone I would make the better VPM. So today I'm going to share vexations and victories from my VPM leadership experience. Vexation 1. These gaps. So if you looked on the agenda, I was succeeding vacant. Remember vacant? Because I had no predecessor. My predecessor was a blank space on the agenda. So what do I do? What do I do? Where do I start? I don't know who to speak to. So I go and look at my old regular club material and I spruce up our regular guest book and the welcome email. Next, it's the first meeting of the year. And visitors fall from the sky? I didn't invite them. Where did they come from? Does it matter? Some sign my guest book. Now I have email addresses. Yes, yes. First step, success. But analytical me goes and searches for that very first follow-up email when I joined. And it says, all you need is another club. No need to be funny. Aha! The trick, blatant plagiarism combined with the old regular club email. And then I remember there's a magic button on our website in the directions page. And when people click the magic button, it collects email addresses. And suddenly a madam in the middle forwards the first one to me. Oh, that's where the visitors from the sky fall from. So a predecessor to vacant and a humor buddy finally share data to fill the gap. Whew. That really is a relief for a data person. Now it's time to connect. So I craft that reminder email, but my mind is mush when it comes to writing funny. So back to that old trick, blatant plagiarism. I copy the gags and the headliner photos from droll maestros Marjane and Linda. And it works! It works! But my fear, if you write it, will they come? Or as the saying goes, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one to hear it, does it make a sound? Or paraphrased, if I send an email and no one replies, am I a tree? Well, I get high responses from the member interest survey, a middling response to who wants to be a millionaire, and 0 responses to the member exclusive social. And I get high responses to meeting reminders with the blatant plagiarism, and middling responses to the follow-ups and only 4 new members. Not paper members, real ones. And today's Exhibit A was going to be Elizabeth, but I'll say Rosemary instead. So Elizabeth helped our winner take home Coki's big bucks. We had 3 more millionaire giveaways and no takers. But we need 8 members for DCP or 5 in 2 months for Golden Gavel. And those middling responses said they have too many clubs, or they need a home club, or is this Toastmasters? It can't be that much fun. I'll be back. We surveyed 25 members of the FYF family, and we reveal the middling answers on today's Family Feud. One of them: there are times when I, a detail person, find it hard to keep up with the level of details. Well, I'd like to share the following. I fully agree with that assessment, because I, a detail person, also find it hard to keep up with my level of details. So whoever's organizing Humor Buddy, I need a short and sweet Humor Buddy. Did you notice in Toastmasters the irony of leading? We have no team. We have peers, we have club members, and those with a high interest for recruiting members in the Member Interest Survey or Sue's Moments of Truth. We meet to review a web of detail, and we choose the membership criteria change and the Don Colliver plan. Did we have new members falling from the sky? No. Now the middling changed to say, now I need a level 1. Maybe they were friendly, low responses and not really no home club responses. The top Family Feud answer was the successor business. So I dutifully reach out to members of our club to try and find a new VPM, and it doesn't work. But a superhero steps up from the sky, and gaps haven't been phasing her at all. So finally, connecting through the newsletter. A Harry Potter newsletter is so much fun to create, and my biggest pleasure is the member articles and profiles from each of you, and the middling responses from the readers. I love finding nuggets buried deep on social media, because it really is true that everything on the internet lives forever. I may have found a new calling as an investigative journalist for Saturday Night Live. So I was the baby, a baby in the big advanced club, trying to take big leaps. Now I'm older and wiser. And thank you for the honor of walking in the grown-up shoes and in a club that's a Bondi Rescue lifeguard when the big blue ocean wants to drown you. And Bondi Rescue lifeguards are real and not paper like Baywatch. So maybe it's not a short and sweet humor buddy I need, but a persuasion humor buddy for the next election and succession. Mr. MC.
Give her a big hand. Awesome, Melanie. Melanie, and Monitor did help with a few colors there as you had an opportunity to. With that, let's get a little feedback. So we get feedback right away after a presentation here. Let's get it back to there. There, that's something else. To facilitate the round robin evaluation, stepping forward, Miss Susan Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. MC Tom. We will, in fact, call out 3 people. You'll spend 30 seconds giving something that you thought was well done and perhaps an opportunity or gift for improvement for our speaker, Melanie. We're going to have first round is going to be Rosemary, followed by Peter, followed by Gloria. So please welcome Rosemary.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susan. and Melanie. I enjoyed your speech. You put so much humor in it. I love when you said visitors from the sky. If I send an email and got no response, am I the tree? And my predecessor was a blank. And then blatant plagiarism. I thought you did a fantastic job. I really, really enjoyed it. I can't think of anything. I was having a hard time hearing it, but I'm having some problems with my computer, so I don't know if it was me or not. But excellent speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Next up, Peter.
Melanie, I thought you did a great job of bringing us along in your journey. Without going into huge detail, you were able to communicate much of the frustration and as well as the joy that you experienced going through it. So I thought you did a great job of bringing that through in your speech. I would like to point out, however, is that at least in my business, we don't call it blatant plagiarism. We call it benchmarking against a competitor. That's much nicer.
Thank you for those words of wisdom, Peter. I like to call it stealing shamelessly. I mean, borrowing, yes. Using resources wisely, as they say in Girl Scouts. Next up, Gloria.
Melanie, I really enjoyed your different terms, such as what everyone else mentioned about the plagiarism, as well as I like the reference to the tree in the forest. Just the little highlights you made of picking out different programs that we might relate to help, I guess, add color to what you were saying. Saturday Night Live, Baywatch, I think.
What sound? We lost your sound, Gloria.
I went on mute. I don't know how much you heard, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next three up, since we have time, we're going to go with Stephanie, May, and Charlotte. So Stephanie.
Oh my. I think I'm a little more daft than droll today. And as much as I enjoyed it, I really don't have anything intelligent or concrete to add. It was just delightful. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, May.
Yes, sorry about the camera. Maggie. Oops. Excellent job. I love those scenery that you have and draw different examples and all that. And you did great. And I love your variety of tones. Excellent.
Thank you. Next up, Charlotte, to close it up.
Thank you very much, Susan. Melanie, that was a very good speech. You obviously have done a lot of very good work in preparing for it. The only thing that I have to suggest is something that I think was said a little bit earlier, and that maybe you could have had some kind of comical examples in there about like the short and sweet humor buddy and everything in the internet lives forever. Maybe some examples of those two things could have brought some humor into it. Thank you very much. Now I'll turn control back to Susan.
Thank you, Charlotte, and thank you for everyone who's given feedback. There's still the opportunity to write notes in the chat if you were missed and you'd like to say something special to Melanie. Next, I'm going to go back to our MC, Tom, in that.
Thank you all. Thank you, Susan. Somebody forgot. We've had many members that have been a part of Find Your Funny who've crafted us to this level and have had to go on to other opportunities for time constraints. Speaking of short and sweet humor buddy, Terry Wells. Think about it. Our next prepared speaker. I'm going to restart the computer.